This is the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour.
Supported by Albertsons
and
Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Brought to you by
Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. Choose VA. Veterans get the benefits you've earned. Visit choose.va.gov. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Now, your hosts, Shannon Gross and Brad Sham.
Welcome, everybody. It's the Cowboys Hour. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being wherever you are. Is it Victory Monday?
Let's act like it. Yay, let's
Victory
go.
Monday.
Let's go.
I mean, they didn't lose.
They did not lose.
So the win carries over for bye-week purposes, does it not?
I agree with you.
All right,
Yeah.
so it's Victory Monday. Thanks for coming out on Victory Monday. Thank you for joining us wherever you are around the Dallas Cowboys radio network. Thank you for joining us on DallasCowboys.com, where whenever this week you are streaming this extravaganza. And momentarily, as if by magic, in that chair now, right which there. To your eyes, those of you who are here with us, and thank you for coming out to the South Concourse of the Ford Center at the Star.
Good-looking crowd tonight, by the way.
It's an outstanding crowd, and they have come not for you or me.
No. They're stuck with us for a few minutes, though.
That what looks to you like an empty chair is actually an illusion, because within moments it will be filled with the radiant presence of Ezekiel Elliott. And I hope you'll do better for that when he gets here. He got stuck in bye-week traffic, but he's on his way. Now, let me just tell you this. The players were all off last week, so arranging things definitively too far in advance was difficult to do. So we just cemented with Zeke today that he could, by we, I mean Joe Trahan from the Cowboys public relations staff, we just cemented with Zeke today that he could do this evening. He said, but I have to leave at 6:45. We said, okay, hey, if we can get Zeke from 6:05 or something like that to 6:45, then we'll be happy to take that, because it'll be harder later in the year. So if you have questions about things Cowboys, Shannon and I are just going to take your questions from the studio audience here.
You know what?
Later in the show.
Can I kick it off? Can I start a question now? I have a question for you.
You do whatever you want.
What is the biggest – I think there's a lot of surprises this year for me personally. What is the biggest surprise? Easy answer, I think, is defense, right? The way the defense is playing. What's the biggest surprise to you so far this season?
It's a good one. The biggest surprise, there are some individuals who are surprises. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Jaron Kearse, who I'm delighted we had here a few weeks ago, he has been a hugely pleasant surprise. Mm-hmm. I think he's playing the best football of his career. I don't think they knew he was going to be this good when they signed him. That's been a big plus. And I don't know if I'm that surprised that the defense is playing better. I think that's why they hired Dan Quinn. Mm-hmm. That's why they did a lot of stuff. That was supposed to happen. Maybe Kearse. I think Jaron Kearse he's been good.
Yeah. What's
been the biggest surprise to you?
I think how similar feeling this season is to, what was it, 2016? 5-1. You're right at the top, and we looked at the schedule, on our show today, our podcast, Hanging with the Boys. We were looking at the schedule and who's leading each division, and no one really scares me, which I did not think. Kansas City's not looking that intimidating now, and that was the big one everybody had circled on their calendar. And I think just the feeling and the vibe of this team is one of they can play with anybody. Anybody, anywhere, anytime, and it's been a while since I've had that feeling about this team.
And we're going to bring that up with Zeke. They can play with anybody, and my advice to you, based on having been around the block, everybody should scare you. Absolutely everybody should scare you. And that's the way you get to 5-1 with more. You know what I think we might do is get our first break out of the way early, because then we'll have more time with Zeke when that chair magically transforms into him right before your very eyes and ears. So I think we should do that.
Let's do that. Can I read a live read?
I wish you'd read two, actually.
You want me to read two? All right, let me pick the two. Let me read this one first. When it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day. When you wear your Cowboys jersey, Brad, that means you would have to go either really early or really late.
Yeah, it would.
Before or after the game.
That'd be closed by the time I'm done.
Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. Also, Lucchese is a proud sponsor of the show. They are the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
And we will be right back with Ezekiel Elliott right after this.
Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
And welcome back to the Cowboys Hour at the Ford Center at the Star. Brad Sham and Shannon Gross, and as I promised, the chair on the far end has, as if by magic, transformed into Ezekiel Elliott. How about that? No, better than that. Better than that. Have you seen the year he's having? Better than that. Come on. There we go. Oh, do that. Wait, Zeke, do that again. That's all it took. That's all it took. The people's choice. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you being here.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. So right out of the box, Shannon asked or posed a question that I was going to ask you anyway, that I think people would love to hear. So this record mirrors almost exactly what you guys did your rookie year. You lost the first game, then you won 5 in a row, including on the road going into the bye. And that year you didn't lose again until December. And in 2018, the start wasn't quite the same, but it was a good year, playoff year. And so my question is, in any way, does this, what's going on with your team right now, feel to you like either of those years or anything else?
I think it does. It feels like both of those years, kind of us catching a roll and kind of catching a fire. And, I think we're playing some good football right now. We just had a week, bye week, so we can rest up and get healthy. We're getting some guys back. But, hopefully the plan is to, keep that ball rolling and win some more football games.
Besides winning 5 in a row, in what ways does this feel like some of those other things you've experienced?
I'd say probably just the camaraderie in the locker room. I would say just how much fun we're having. How close we're getting. It feels alike.
And how about the maturity and experience factor? I mean, clearly from 2016, you and Dak were rookies. A bunch of guys were just coming in. You must feel like a whole different person at the profession than back then, do you?
Yeah, it feels weird. It feels weird just to think. I even find myself asking other people, what year is this for me? But year 6, man, it goes fast. Just to think back then, 21, young pup. Yeah, lots changed.
You're like the old guy now. You're one of the old guys.
Yeah, I am. I'm getting there. Kind of feels like it.
Especially after you've played, I'm sure. The beating that you take is just amazing. What things did you do? I know you've been asked this a lot, but people are interested. What things did you do both differently in this offseason to prepare yourself physically and just in general for the pounding that a running back takes in the NFL? What do you do in the offseason to try to prepare your body for that, none of which is natural?
I would say in the offseason, to prepare for the season, this season in Pacific, I wanted to get better on my lateral quickness. I wanted to, come into the season quicker, leaner, so I lost some weight. I really focused on – I got a new trainer. I really focused on working on that and just kind of trying to turn that into a strength.
And in terms of experience in the game, are you able to articulate things that you know more that are different than what you knew before?
Yeah, 100%. Just to think, my first day, my first practice, they threw me right in there with the ones, and you barely know anything. If you know anything about OTAs, you got OTA 1 install, so that's basically the basics. And I remember getting thrown in there with Tony, and like he got all off the first install. He's saying stuff that I'm like, I have no idea what that is. But definitely just being 6 years in, with all those reps, with all those games, the game slows down a lot. You know a lot more about the offense. And I think just the biggest thing for me is my evolution from year 1 to year 6 is probably year 1 I knew what I had to do. Now, I got a pretty good idea what everyone's doing, so that's the biggest.
But by the way, that's not by accident. You've gone out of your way to make sure you know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, that's something my running back, my college running back coach Stan Drayton. Now he's at UT, but his biggest thing in college was, okay, it's easy to know what you're gonna do, but what's gonna take you to the next level, what's gonna take your game to the next level is knowing what everyone's around you's doing, so you can know why you have to do what you're going to do.
You're 6 guy. I called you an old guy earlier. I didn't mean you were old. You're not, definitely not old. More mature. You're 6 guy now. What would you tell year 1 guy now that you've gone through this many seasons and you've seen a lot of things? What would you tell your younger self?
I would say what I would tell my younger self is just enjoy it. Soak it all up. It goes fast, definitely. Definitely start to get that routine down. Figure out what works for you, and learn it as quick as you can. So you can have that routine, and you'll have it already there. And yeah.
Would rookie you have listened?
I hope so.
I want to talk about, I would like to ask you to do a little clinic for these people because I just happened to be watching the New England game today. The things that running backs at the top of the profession do, almost any running back, but especially guys like yourself, it's amazing the instincts that you have developed that tell you where to go. I've had some Hall of Fame running backs tell me that once the ball is snapped, they don't really see things so much as feel them unless it's flashes of color. So let's say there's a carry that involves a cutback. You're gonna get 9 or 10 yards. Can you tell people from the time you get the handoff, what do you see? What are you looking for? What do you see? What tells you whether to cut into that little crease or cut back this way other than play design? And do you see specific people or do you just see flashes of color?
You definitely see specific people. So I'll say before the play starts, you know what the run is, and you gotta make your track to your landmark at the correct tempo. So each run is gonna have a different tempo. Each run has a different landmark. So you wanna make sure you're getting to your landmark at the right tempo. And we have our initial reads, we have our pre-snap reads that kind of give you an idea where the ball may go. So there might be a look where I'm like, okay, versus this look, the ball might bounce outside. But you can never know what's going to happen after the ball is snapped. And so I would say once the ball is snapped, you got to trust your practice, you got to trust your training, and then instincts take over.
And is it a matter of just seeing green or feeling where the opening might be?
Well, what's important is because in run plays you have at least one double team. So the biggest thing is you want to make sure you press your landmark and give that double team time to get up to the second level to that linebacker. And if you try to make your cut too early or even too late, that linebacker is not going to get blocked. So, the biggest thing with every run is just being patient, pressing your landmarks, and getting that double team to those linebackers.
Sometimes there are plays, I have to go back and watch them 3 or 4 times. You will slide through an opening. Those are very big people in front of you who are blocking for you and the people they're blocking. And it doesn't look like, if you freeze-framed it, it doesn't look like there would be room enough for you to just walk through that opening. But you find a way to get almost paper thin and slide through, carrying the ball, and pick up yardage. What happens when you see a little crease like that?
First you just got to trust your guys around. You got to trust your offensive line that they're going to do their job. That's the main thing. But what we call it running through the smoke. Sometimes you got to run through the smoke to get to where you're trying to go. And, a lot of times it may not look like there's anything there, and then next thing you know, it pops open at the last second. So, just run through the smoke and hope it clears.
You're good at running through the smoke. You're good at running through the smoke.
What's your game day ritual? Do you have any superstitions? Do you have anything you do every single game day?
I would say my biggest game day ritual is kind of weird. It's just I have to do everything left first, then right. So I'm going to put my left sock on first, then I'm going to put my right one on. I'm going to tie my left shoe before I tie my right one. Before I put on my tights, I'm going to put my left leg in before I put my right leg in.
How'd that start?
I don't know. It just kind of I had a coach tell me great players have great routines, and the thing about a routine is it keeps you from thinking about what you have to do next. You don't have to think about it. You know what's next. And so there's so many things that go on during game day. So you just got to the more you can eliminate decisions, like the easier the day goes.
So if it's the off season and you're going to go for a run, do you put your left sock on first then too, and your left shoe?
Yeah.
Are you superstitious?
Not super superstitious.
Wait a minute.
Not super superstitious.
Like a little?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
A little superstitious. Give me a superstition.
Yeah, my left foot, right foot. That one.
Well, that's kind of why
I'm gonna feel thrown off if I like go and throw my right sock on first, and I'm like, oh, I just gotta take that sock off and start all over.
that's why I ask, because some guys will say that they're not superstitious; they just have a routine.
Yeah.
And the routine, and what you've just described is a routine, and it's the exact same routine all the time. But if you forget, I guess the point is that you don't ever forget, right? You never.
No.
Do you do that?
I feel like it might be a bad day if I do.
I forgot. Do you do that, Brad? When you get to the stadium on game day, do you take the same elevator and the same route, and you step across the threshold with the same foot? And
No. And as you well know, it depends on what door they're letting us in.
Right.
that particular day. I like to take the closest one and the escalator up because it's right by the booth. And if that's not there, then I go a different way. But I have been known to, I like fine writing implements. So I've got some really nice pens. Mm-hmm. And if a pen loses a game, that pen won't work another game that year.
Really?
Yeah. I've been known to do that.
Okay.
Things of that nature. Watches. If I wear a watch and the game doesn't go well, then that watch isn't going on another road trip.
What about hats? You're a big hat guy.
Yeah, no, that kind of depends on the weather and what else I'm wearing.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
No, none. I'm really not superstitious at all. Like I'm the opposite of Zeke. I probably do every single thing in my life a different way every time I do it.
Well,
I'm the anti-routine, I guess.
That also takes
That's your
concentration.
routine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
Your routine's not having a routine.
There you go. I just figured that out tonight.
It also takes concentration. Oh, no, I can't do that. I did that way the last time. That won't work. There's another aspect of your team I'd love to hear you talk about, Zeke. Several of your teammates, have commented about how unselfish this group is and maybe more so than some of the good teams that you have been on here. Do you agree with that? And if you do, in what way does that happen?
I agree that we have a very unselfish team, just because I think we truly understand that when we all have success, that's where we're going to have the best success. And I don't think there's one individual on the team that really cares about their individual success. I think we're all just very focused on winning as a team, and I think that shows in our play.
Ask Zeke the question you asked me before you got here.
What's the most surprising thing to you so far this year about the team?
The most surprising thing to me so far about the team, I don't know if anything this year's happened that surprised me.
Because for me, it was how much this year feels like 2016. Just the kind of the vibe, and everybody was having fun. Everybody was relaxed. You guys started off, 6-1 that year, I believe.
5-1 going into the bye.
5-1 going to the bye, and it kind of has you guys just being around y'all on game day. It feels like you genuinely like each other, and you're getting along. You're having fun, and you're just kind of enjoying it. But you're killing it on the field. You're doing a great job. That the record reflects that. So I think for me, that's the biggest surprise to me is how awesome this season has felt so far.
So you're telling me you thought that we were going to be terrible?
No, not
so
at
you're
all.
surprised that
He's
we're
calling
good.
me out. No. It just, to me, it's.
You're surprised we're so good.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that you guys are 5-1 at this point, and you guys have really dominated some teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised by that. I'd say, I feel like we put in the work. When you look at last year and just all the adversity, everything we went through, and just all that took us to get to this point this year, just all the guys coming back from injury, and how hard they worked. I think we're reaping the benefits of all the hard work and all the hard work we put in this offseason.
Mm-hmm. So another thing Shannon said before you got here was that as he looks at your schedule, he sees that nobody with whom you cannot play, which is, I think you've proven that. And then he said, nobody scares me. And I said, everybody should scare you. Do you subscribe to that theory at all?
I understand what you're saying. I don't think we're scared of anyone, but I understand what you're saying because this is the NFL. Everyone we're playing is a pro team, so they have a lot of great players just like us. And like you said, we're not scared, but we understand that we have to respect them. I say we're not scared. We respect everyone we play, and because any given Sunday, anything can happen, and we just have to, stay on point and be ready to play our best game every Sunday.
Maybe this would be an answer to your question about what is surprising. When a season starts, now it might be different for you guys because you start the season in the spring together, and you kind of feel like you know who you are and what you can be. But I think when it starts, everyone's hopeful, and then things happen. This happened in 2016. Well, that's fine. Let's see what happens when they go to Green Bay. Oh, all right. Well, let's see what happens when they go to Pittsburgh. Oh, okay. So now it feels to me like the external expectations are raised, and now the scrutiny gets a little more intense, and so I wonder if you feel like there is that you as a group expect more from yourselves than you did in OTAs.
No, I think as a team we put in the work in OTAs with the expectation that we're gonna be able to that work will be what's gonna drive us to have the season that we're having. So I say that's why it's not surprising. I say we expect to play well. We expect to go win a lot of football games, and that's because we've put in all the work, and we know that.
Okay. You know a lot of things that we don't. We're going to ask some of those to you. And by the way, I got to tell you, one of the features of this show the last few weeks has become that Shannon does a deep dive into the Wikipedia page.
It's the worst
of each
part
of
of
our
the show.
guests.
I don't know why Brad lets me still do it.
Shannon really enjoys it, and I enjoy watching him enjoy it. So we're going to have him dive into your Wikipedia page when we come back and see what's right. Ezekiel Elliott's with us tonight on the Cowboys Hour. We'll be right back.
Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
And the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour is sponsored in part by Omni Hotels. At Omni Frisco Hotel, kick off your stay at the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys with style. Cool off in the elevated pool, savor upscale comfort food at neighborhood services, and enjoy all the dining and entertainment options the Star has to offer. Visit omnihotels.com/Frisco to learn more and turn the next home game into a weekend getaway. We're delighted to have all of you with us. Brad Sham, Shannon Gross, and the Cowboys' great young running back, Ezekiel Elliott. Yes, I said young. I said young. We were talking about how unselfish your team is before. I was watching the tape, as I mentioned, the New England game. There was a running play on the goal line. You and Tony Pollard were both in the lineup. He got the ball. Your job was to go in motion and block a defensive back. The play did not result in a touchdown, but what I kept coming back to was you locked onto your guy, and I told Rich Dalrymple this. I'm not exaggerating. You drove him completely out of the end zone. You got on him and drove him completely out of the back of the end zone. Now, it didn't have anything to do with the play because somebody else tackled him. But I couldn't take my eyes off that. And you've always been an exceptional blocker in pass protection. It just seems like you've gotten better at it. And you've been asked 100 times, so now it's going to be 101, about the pride you take in that. And I'm going to also throw in route running because I think you're a phenomenal route runner. And I'm glad they're using you in different ways in the passing game. When did you start developing those skills?
When I was 7, I played fullback. So my first year of football, I was a fullback. But I would say when I really decided like that I wanted to be an elite blocker was when I got to college. High school football, I went to a super small high school. We had 30 dudes on our team, 3A football in Missouri. Can't say I played a lot of good competition. So when I got to Ohio State, it kind of was like, I wouldn't say a shell shock, but it was just like, dang, these dudes everyone's good, everyone's big, everyone's fast. And I was young, so I was trying to find a way to separate myself from the other guys. Blocking is something that really doesn't take, it takes skill. You have to be fundamental, but a lot of it is just heart. A lot of guys, I don't say necessarily love it or want to do it, but I take pride in going out there and blocking. I look at it as a way kind of to take away the defensive will. It's another blow. It's like a tough run. It's like lowering a boom on a DB, going out there and run blocking them.
How about the route running as a receiver?
I think
you've gotten better at that, haven't you?
Yeah. I think just as a player, you want to every off season, you want to look at your game, you want to dissect it, you want to find the weaknesses, you want to find where you can improve. And I think as a pro, it's our obligation to always nitpick our game and always find what we're necessarily not the best at and improve. Just because I think you need to be a well-rounded player.
Well, I think you've done that. Okay, you ready for Shannon Gross to dive into your Wikipedia page?
I don't know.
All right, I'll go easy on you. These have gotten really long-winded.
Well, don't go easy on him. It's Ezekiel Elliott. You can handle whatever you got.
All right, well, these have gotten kind of long-winded, so I'm going to make this a shorter version than what they normally are. Before I do this, did you trim the beard or something? Something looks different about.
I need to trim my beard.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you need to trim your beard.
I need to trim it.
Okay, that's what it is. All right, so let's get going here. This is a Wikipedia fact check. So you tell me whether I just print this off Wikipedia, I read it, and then you tell me whether it's true or not. And then I go back in and edit it later and fix it if it's not true.
Okay.
That part's a lie.
That's a lie.
Tell me if it's true or not.
He does not do that.
Says Ezekiel Elijah Zeke Elliott was born July 22nd, 1995.
Yes.
True? Okay. Says you're an American football running back for the Dallas Cowboys of the National Football League.
Yes.
Okay, we got that part. All right. It says you were drafted by the Dallas Cowboys 4th overall in the 2016 NFL Draft.
Correct.
All right, so we're off to a great start. It says you were born in Alton, Illinois.
False.
False.
I was born in St. Louis.
Where are you?
And honestly, for the longest, like, I think not until this year when they put my name in, like, my hometown up on the screen at AT&T, it always said Alton. And, I wasn't born in Alton.
We got to get that fixed.
Now you
I
will
think
have
they
to
finally
go in.
did fix it, but it took 6 years.
You're 6, we got it fixed. All right. It says your mom was a high school state champion in 3 sports before attending the University of Missouri and ran track there.
Yes.
That's true. Okay. Your dad was a linebacker for the Missouri football team and CEO of Fifth Down Enterprises.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, 2 parents who were great athletes at the University of Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't have gone to the
Couldn't
university.
even recruit him there, huh?
He couldn't go. I'm sure they tried, didn't they?
Well, the problem is Ohio State offered me before Missouri.
Ooh.
And I think, the biggest problem was they let me get down to Columbus before I even went and was offered at Missouri.
Another reason I'm occasionally disappointed in my alma mater, but never mind.
It says your maternal grandfather played basketball for Drake University.
Yep.
And your uncle is Finnish professional basketball player Sean Huff.
Yes.
All right, we're doing good. We're getting better at this. Okay. It says you were a state qualifier in sprinting and hurdling events, and you capped your high school career by winning 4 state championships at the Missouri Class 3 state championships.
Yes.
Okay. And you were named the Gatorade Track Athlete of the Year in the state of Missouri.
Correct.
All right. Despite overwhelming support and pressure for you to sign with your parents' alma mater. I found that kind of funny. Despite overwhelming support and pressure, you decided to go Ohio State University.
Correct.
Was there a lot of pressure?
I think there was. A lot of pressure. But I would say my parents did a great job just kind of, let me know it's my decision. It's important to me, whatever I decided.
And then it says you bought your parents' new house after signing your rookie contract?
Yep.
Look at you. That's so awesome, man. And it said you studied marketing at Ohio State University?
I did.
And it said 1 year you dressed up as SpongeBob for Halloween.
No.
He made that up.
I made that part up. I made that part up. What are you dressing up for Halloween this year?
The Joker.
Ooh.
The Joker.
Ooh.
How elaborate will the makeup get?
I'm not sure. I am having a makeup artist coming, so
Pretty
that's
elaborate.
That's elaborate.
It's not me and
I
you
think
putting
so.
lipstick on in the mirror.
No.
It should be good.
yeah.
Are you going to post pictures of that on social media?
I might.
Okay.
Now, will this
Interested to
be
see that.
this be like early television Frank Gorshin Joker, or will this be like
Heath Ledger. type
Heath
Joker.
Ledger
Yeah.
Oscar winning?
I don't know which one I picked. My
Wait,
girlfriend.
I was going to say, Zeke. Let's
That's
wait.
more of
Did
a
you pick it or did she?
question for the
She picked it, right?
Yeah.
She picked it. You don't know. You don't know. She said you're going as the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Is she Catwoman?
No, she's Harley Quinn.
Oh, of course she is.
That'll be fun.
What would be wrong?
Well, that's
with
all
that?
I have for Wikipedia.
Oh,
we
that
only
was
had
not
one
bad.
thing wrong, so
Okay,
thank you
that's
for playing
not bad.
along, Zeke.
That's
we
not
appreciate
bad.
that.
So, other sports that you played besides running track,
Basketball and baseball.
were you a rebounder?
Yes. I wasn't basketball, I was more so like an athlete out there playing basketball. I wasn't a basketball player. So stuff like defense and rebounding, that's what I had to excel in. So I wasn't going to be knocking down threes.
But, well, one of the reasons I asked about rebounding is that it's got a lot in common with blocking. That's all about desire and want to. A lot of guys were out there trying to knock down threes. But that wasn't you?
I probably took less than 53s in 4 years of varsity.
That's not a lot. Okay, what was your baseball position?
Baseball was shortstop, center field, second base.
Could you hit?
Yeah, I could hit a little bit.
A little bit? That means you were good.
Yeah, I was pretty good. But just 1 year, I ended up trying out track right before I went to high school, and I ended up being pretty good at hurdles. I think I got 8th in the nation in 100 hurdles my 8th grade year. So after that, kind of was it for baseball.
Okay. And how old were you when you first identified that you wanted to play in the NFL?
I'd say pretty young. I started playing football when I was 7, so I think every little league football player, the dream is to go play NFL.
I was there. The one and only draft I have ever been to was the year you got drafted. I was there on the red carpet. You had the whole crop top suit going on. What was that whole day like for you? Was that just kind of a surreal moment? And did you have any idea if the Cowboys were coming to get you? Like, what was that? Just that whole process. It was in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What was that whole thing like?
It was a surreal moment. It was great because me being from St. Louis and the draft being in Chicago, so it was only right down the road, only like 4 or 5 hour drive, and so you have a lot of family and friends in town. It's pretty special just to kind of experience that moment of your life with all the people you love. But I would say I remember being very anxious. I wanted to be a Cowboy. And, everything worked out.
Why did you want to be a Cowboy?
The offensive line.
It's probably the best answer.
Micah, as you're well aware, Micah Parsons makes no bones about the fact that when he played at the Cotton Bowl, he said, let's just keep me in these colors and keep me in this stadium. Now, you won a national championship at that stadium with Ohio State. Did you have any feelings like this might be a good place to play?
Yeah, you know about Dallas. You know that there's always the great O-line. It's always a priority, and so it's every running back's dream.
Well, dream come true. All right, we're going to take our next break, and then questions from loyal Cowboy fans for Ezekiel Elliott on the Cowboys Hour.
Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys. And if you want to use what the pros use, Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys. Brad, right after the show, I expect you to go to getjackblack.com and check out their assortment.
Expectations and hopes are different things.
Correct.
But you may expect whatever you wish. We're delighted to have Ezekiel Elliott with us this evening. I'm also delighted to tell you that next Monday, Randy Gregory will be sitting in that chair. That will be a pretty.
It'll be a fun show.
That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot. Hey, which of your team? That makes me think. You've got a couple of guys. Randy's one. Mari Cooper's another one. Whose personality is completely different than any wide receiver I've ever met. Very, very thoughtful guy. You've got the quietest wide receiver room, I think, in the history of the NFL. Is there anybody whose personality has surprised you as you've gotten to know them?
Trying to think. No.
Good, that's fine. No is okay. I do want to ask one thing, and then we're going to get to the folks who have lined up. You were talking about nobody has individual goals on your team. That we were talking about how unselfish you are. But you'd like to lead the league in rushing, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So do you have that? I understand that your individual goals don't take precedence over what you can do for the team, but do you have benchmarks for yourself, statistical benchmarks every year that you would like to hit?
I think like you want to rush for 1,000 every year, score 10 touchdowns. I think that's like a benchmark. But I just think once you handle everything, once you win football games and once you're doing well as a team, I think after that everything handles itself.
Good answer. Okay, let's take some questions.
All right. Hey, Zeke, my name's Bill. Just kind of a memory question maybe for you. This is your actual game jersey from last year. Any chance, it has a pouch on it, warming pouch, any chance you know what game it was used in?
All right, had to be cold.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
The question is,
we wore Navy a bunch last year too, so that's tough. I think last year was the most we've worn Navy since I've been here. I have no idea.
That's what I
kind of try to put last year
in
the rear view mirror.
I'm just grateful to have it.
Yeah. Okay, so in other words, there is no answer. Okay, good. Just checking.
What's up, Z? My name is Corey. I feel like you have the best jump cut in NFL. So with that and your patience and vision, was that something you learned like in high school or in Ohio State, or is that just like God-gift ability that you learned when you started playing football at a young age?
I will say that running back probably is the most just natural, like it's kind of a natural ability, like just running the football. A lot of running backs, we've been running backs our whole life. But I will say, like, certain aspects of my game, like the jump cut, that's something that, they really drilled us on at Ohio State. So I would say probably at Ohio State was where, jump cut probably became a staple.
Corey, real quick before you leave. Corey's here every week, and Corey always has really good questions. Today's Monday, when do you start preparing your question for the show? Because you always have really good, thoughtful questions.
Well, normally it's like, I think like the Cowboys website normally posts it like Fridays. But I had tweeted Brad early this morning. I was like, Brad, who's the guest? And he was like, 21. I said, okay. I started thinking then.
So all day today.
Well, it took me I kind of knew if he was a guest this season. I had a couple questions in mind that I already had.
All right. You always do a good job, so I just want to give you some props, man.
Thanks, Corey. Okay. Zeke, this might be the toughest question you get all night right now.
Hi, Zeke. My name's Presley. I like your pink shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Why did you choose to be number 21?
All right, 21. So when you're the first round draft pick, you're the first pick, they got to get those jerseys starting printing off the press. So right after you get drafted, they don't give you much time to pick your number. Like, hey, this was available. Which one do you like the most? But I will say, now that I can think about it, is I picked 21 because if you look at my college number 15 and you put it in the mirror, it kind of looks like 21.
Oh, I like that.
Great answer.
I like that.
Great question,
Hey, wait,
Presley.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Presley.
Presley, wait a minute. Presley, how old are you, darling?
Good.
How old are you?
5.
And was it Dad's idea for you to come talk to Zeke, or was it your idea?
Mine.
That a girl. Okay. All right. Way to go,
Great question,
Presley and Dan.
Thanks,
okay,
Presley.
this will be the next hardest one. I don't like the look of this guy right here.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I would have to say fried chicken. Ever since I was little, fried chicken has been my favorite. It's definitely, hands down.
What's your name, my man?
Rohan.
Oh, Rohan the artist, right? You the guy that draws, right? I remember you
Yes.
from a couple. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Okay.
And Rohan,
That's
how
not a
old are
bad
you?
choice.
Refresh my memory. How old are you?
9.
9. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, Rohan.
Good question, Rohan.
Thanks, Rohan.
Thank you, man.
Maybe you and Zeke can hang out sometime and have pizza and fried chicken. That sounds like a deal.
Sounds like a great meal.
Hi, Zeke. My name's Sebastian, and my question for you is, what's your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment, I will say, it's a tough one. My greatest accomplishment, I'll say maybe one of my most memorable accomplishments was winning the national championship here at AT&T Stadium, 2015 it was? Yeah, 2015.
What is your most, Zeke, what's your most memorable run as a pro? Is it in Pittsburgh? It's got to be up there, huh?
Yeah, let me think. I think Pittsburgh, you got that long screen. That's one of my favorites. And then another one of my favorites, just the game winner at the end, that Pittsburgh game when everything just parted.
Gone. Hey.
Hi, Z. My question is, how do you feel we make it to the touchdown?
I feel really happy. I feel really good, and I can't wait to turn around and find the big fellas and celebrate with them.
What was your name?
Jayla Garcia,
How old are you?
7.
7. Great question.
Thank you.
Great question from everybody.
Yes, sir. Now, some things that happen in a football game and on a field are spontaneous. Some, you wonder if they were at least preconceived. So I know you've been asked this before, but when you jumped in the kettle, did that just come over you, or was there some point during the game when you said, if I score, I'm going in that damn kettle?
Oh, I saw it at warm-ups, and I was like, went over there, checked it out.
Is it safe?
Moving it around a little bit. Made sure it was safe for me to hop in there, but that was definitely something I thought about before the game.
I love that.
And along those same lines, I believe it was last home game, you scored and you threw the ball up in the stands, and there was a kid that had your jersey on. Did you know that kid, or did you just see the jersey and pitching the ball? What was that?
That was more spur of the moment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So wear your Zeke jerseys to the game, and you never know what will happen.
you never know.
You might get a football.
You never know.
Hey, Zeke, how you doing? My name's Eddie from Red Oak, and my biggest question is, do you enjoy running when you're blocking, knocking the tar out of the guy who you're fixing to hit?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do, and I might be a little crazy for that.
Would you rather hurdle a guy or just lower your shoulder and just run over somebody?
Run him over. I want to take his wheel.
Just beat him down.
You haven't hurdled in years.
It's been a while. You're due.
I am due. But I don't know.
Have you been? Has it been recommended to you? Don't do that.
No, it hasn't been recommended. But, I mean, that is scary, having both feet off the ground and a bunch of guys trying to come take your head off.
Okay, as many of these as we can in a minute. Hard Knocks. Did you really not know how to wrap a package?
Yeah, no. I'm more of a, like, ask my mom or girlfriend to do it for me.
Okay. Okay.
Or just not wrap it at all.
Here.
The Feed Me thing, when did you start doing that?
I started doing it in college. So before me, Carlos Hyde was a running back at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I really just got it from him, to be honest. And I mean, that was kind of him telling our OC, you know, he's feeling good.
Give me more.
He's feeling hot.
Yeah. We're feeling hot because we got Ezekiel Elliott here tonight. Thank him for being with us. Appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. Keep it going, because every Monday is what, Shannon?
Victory Monday.
Victory Monday with Randy Gregory.
Let's
Next
go.
week for Shannon Gross, I'm Brad Sham. Thanks for being with us on the Cowboy Hour.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?